Hello students. In our previous part we have completed up till the various applications of drawing. Okay. So now we'll start with the new part of drawing portion, that is what are the various factors that affects the rate of drying. First one is the particle size. Second is nature of material, means what kind of material which we have to dry. Okay. Then nature of moisture, what is the type of moisture, it may be a bound type or it may be a unbound type. Then what will be the surface area, what is the surface area that is provided to the material which is to be dried. Okay. We know that higher will be the surface area, the rate of drying will be also higher. Then initial and final moisture content, what was the initial moisture content and what the final moisture content which we want in our product. Thickness of the material bed, so if we are having the larger surface area, then the thickness of the material bed will be very low. Okay. And if we are having smaller surface area, then the thickness will be greater. Then temperature, what is the temperature that is to be provided to the material which is to be dried. Then second last one is amount of the moisture, and last is nature of the product. Okay. So these were the various factors which affects the rate of drying. Next one is theory of drying. For every process, there are some theories. So let us study the theory of drying. Drying means when a solid mass is there which is wet, so any solvent is present in it. Let us say water is present in it. So water is present in two forms, bound water and unbound water. We have studied that in also our factors affecting rate of drying, that nature of the moisture. See the third point, nature of the moisture, that is bound or unbound. Okay. So I'll explain here what is bound water and what is unbound water. Bound water is the minimum moisture that is held by the material and it exerts as an equilibrium vapor pressure less than the pure water at the same temperature. Okay. And unbound water is the amount of the moisture that is held by the material which exerts an equilibrium vapor pressure equal to that of the pure water at the same temperature. Okay. When the vapor pressure that is exerted by the material is less than the vapor pressure of the pure water, okay, at the same temperature, then the moisture present in the material is known as bound water. But if both the vapor pressure are equal at same temperature, then that moisture will be termed as unbound water. Okay. This unbound water exists largely in the voids of the solid. Thus, in the non-hygroscopic material, all the liquid present is unbound water. Okay. The hygroscopic materials, water present in fine capillaries, cell and fiber walls, physical interactions. Okay. These contains bound water, and what will be the condition for that? Vapor pressure of that wet solid is less than the vapor pressure of pure water. We have studied that in the previous slide. Okay. And non-hygroscopic material means water is present in the void spaces. It contains unbound water, and what will be the condition for the presence of unbound water or unbound moisture in that? Vapor pressure of wet solids is equal to the vapor pressure of the pure water. When both the vapor pressure, means the vapor pressure that is exerted by the wet solid is less than the vapor pressure of pure water, then it will contain bound water. If the vapor pressure is equal, then it will contain unbound water. Okay. Okay. Let us proceed further. That theory of drying, which was our heading, it can be discussed under three main headings. Okay. It's written over here two headings, but there will be three main headings. First one is the mechanism. The mechanism of drying also comes under the theory of drying. Okay. Mechanism part means what is the mechanism of drying process. Okay, we know that drying involves both heat transfer and mass transfer process simultaneously. Okay, so it will be coming under the terminology that is theory of drying. Then second one will be your equilibrium relationships, and third one is rate relationships. Okay, so we'll study mechanism of drying after some time. Let us see what are the various theories first. Okay, various theories that are proposed to explain the movement of moisture. There are various theories like diffusion theory, capillarity theory, pressure gradient theory, gravity flow theory, and last one is vaporization and condensation mechanisms. Okay, so I'll explain to you what is diffusion theory. I'll explain all the theories to you, just introductory part of each and every one. Okay, in diffusion theory, this theory assumes that the effect of the capillarity, gravitational and frictional forces are very small. Okay, according to this theory, and the rate of flow of water is proportional to the moisture gradient. Okay, moisture gradient, again, what is the terminology gradient means? It means the difference. Okay, so the rate of flow is proportional to the moisture gradient, means according to this theory, water movement will be means water diffuses through the solid to the surface and subsequently evaporates into the surroundings. It means that water is diffusing through the solid, means water जो है वो solid से बाहर निकल रहा है थ्रू द सरफेस पे आके. ओके, और वो धीरे धीरे इवेपोरेट हो जा रहा है और कहाँ चला जाता है? सराउंडिंग्स में चला जाता है. And evaporation of water occurs at the intermediate zone much below the solid surface. Okay, तो इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि जो इवेपोरेशन होता है वो कहाँ पे होता है? इंटरमीडिएट पार्ट में, मतलब सरफेस पे नहीं हो रहा है, वो सॉलिड सरफेस के नीचे होता है. therefore then the vapor diffuses through the solid into the air. So this was the saying of the diffusion theory. Okay, next is your capillarity theory. What happens in capillarity theory? It is applicable to the porous granular solid. Okay, this is only applicable to the porous granular solid, or we can say that porous material. ठीक है, एंड what porous material किनको कहते हैं हम? जिनमें इंटरकनेक्टेड पोर्स के नेटवर्क रहते हैं. ठीक है, उनको कहते हैं हम porous material. So what happens in this? As the drying start, there is a formation of meniscus, okay, in the capillary, and it exerts a force. So this meniscus, or the force which is exerted by this, is the driving force for the movement of water through the pores towards the surface. ठीक है, so this is the driving force for that. And capillarity theory holds good only for free water in the bed. This type of movement of liquid takes place in the granules as well as in the spaces between the granule. Means जो void spaces present रहते हैं granule के बीच में, उनमें भी water movement आपको दिखेगा. Okay, so as the pore diameter is considerably smaller inside a granule than the surrounding granule, the liquid that is surrounding the granules can be removed initially. Okay, so this was your capillarity theory. Next is the pressure gradient theory, and this pressure gradient theory is applicable to drying of solids by the application of radiation. Okay, so radiation is a source for generating internal heat. ठीक है, जब internally heat generate करना है तो radiation is the best source for that. When radiation interacts with the polarized molecules and ions of any material. Okay, when radiation is interacting with whom? The polarized molecules and the ions of that material. So this field aligns the molecule in order which are otherwise randomly oriented. Okay, so this type of drying mechanism is applicable to the radiation drying, that has provided such rays penetrate deep inside the solid mass. So this was your pressure gradient theory. So these all were some theories which you should know, just the introductory part of each and every one. Okay, now taking account of equilibrium relationship. What are equilibrium relationships? you can say that when the air having a constant temperature and humidity, okay, which is passing over the wet solid, ठीक है. So when it is passing over any wet solid and after a long exposure, means after a long duration, equilibrium is reached. देर विल बी सम टाइम ना जब इक्विलिब्रियम अचीव हो जाएगा, ठीक है. को एक एयर है, एक एयर मतलब कि हमने एयर प्रोवाइड किया है किसी वेट सॉलिड को ऑफ कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर एंड ह्यूमिडिटी. ना तो उसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ रहा है ना कम हो रहा है, ना उसकी ह्यूमिडिटी इंक्रीज हो रही है ना डिक्रीज हो रही है, ठीक है. वो एक वेट सॉलिड के सरफेस पे है. एंड आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग एक्सपोजर व्हेन इक्विलिब्रियम इज अचीव्ड and on attaining that equilibrium the further exposure will not alter the moisture content in the solid. okay, इसका मतलब ये है कि जब एक बार इक्विलिब्रियम अचीव हो गया है तो फिर हम उस कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर और ह्यूमिडिटी के एयर में कितने देर तक अपने सॉलिड को रखेंगे, तब तक भी हमारे सॉलिड के मॉइस्चर कंटेंट में कोई फ़र्क नहीं आएगा. जितना डिक्रीज़ होना था उतना हो गया. अब और ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर में भी कोई फ़र्क नहीं आने वाला. ओके, सो एट दिस स्टेज वेपर प्रेशर ऑफ द वेट सॉलिड्स इज इक्वल टू दैट ऑफ द सराउंडिंग एटमॉस्फेयर. देन ओनली वी कैन से दैट कि इक्विलिब्रियम हैज़ अचीव्ड. ओके, कब बोलेंगे हम? जब वेपर प्रेशर ऑफ द वेट सॉलिड इज इक्वल टू दैट ऑफ व्हाट? द सराउंडिंग एटमॉस्फेयर. ओके, सो in equilibrium relationship we will study EMC. EMC is equilibrium moisture content. Okay, what is this? I'll tell you the introductory part of this EMC. Rest in detail we'll study in our next video. Okay, so what do you mean by EMC? Equilibrium moisture content. As the name itself suggests that the amount of water which exerts some vapor pressure that is equal to the vapor pressure of the atmosphere. ठीक है, तो जो वाटर, जो अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर मीन्स जो मॉइस्चर प्रेजेंट है सॉलिड में, उसका जो वेपर प्रेशर है इज इक्वल टू द वेपर प्रेशर ऑफ द एटमॉस्फेयर. ओके, सो दिस कंडीशन इज नोन एज इक्विलिब्रियम मॉइस्चर कंटेंट. Okay students, I hope you have got it. Further parts of the equilibrium moisture content in detail we'll study in our next video. Thank you.